Yo, what's up, everybody? You're tuned into Let's Talk About It with Cha-Cha and the unstoppable Run It Back crew. Get ready for high-octane discussions, epic stories, and non-stop energy. Let's get it started.
All right, America, you know what it is. You got Cha-Cha in the building. What's happening with the final episode of Let's Talk About It, the final episode of the season, excuse me. I'm not done. I'm just done for the season. So, you know, I got a special treat for you today. I have two things I want to talk about today that I found on the internet. They're very interesting, very interesting. Before I get into that, though, what's going on, Javi? What's going on with you?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Living the dream, living the dream.
Doing the best I can.
Yeah, I just want to shout out all my team since we wrapping it up for the season. What about you, Omega?
Pretty good, bro. Pretty good.
That's what's up.
Here we are. We started this journey not terribly. Well, okay. I began to add on not terribly long ago, but it's been nice. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
As we continue moving forward, man, I'm pretty excited for the developments.
Progression.
Yeah, like many things. Started with nothing. Now we got a little something.
A little something. About you? What about you, D-Lo?
Man, like I said, it's just been a good journey, with everybody here. You know, I've known different time at different points in my life. And so it's been even that when we get onto this nostalgic moments,
yeah,
you know
right?
what I mean? That's nostalgic for me. So
yeah,
right.
That's what's up. So let me just say, you know, I from the bottom of my heart, you know, especially to Javi and to D-Lo, you know, they invited me into this, you know, and it was not Run It Back. When they first invited me in, we had a different vision, but
mixed in chat.
Yeah, the mix in chat. And then D-Lo and I were going to do our own podcast. And that's still to come, though. Don't get it twisted. That's still to come. But
is that what it's called? Don't get it twisted.
It could be. Don't get it twisted. It could. Hey.
you
Write that down, D-Lo.
Run it back.
But, yeah. But, you know, they invited me out and I decided to make me a part of this. You know, they came together and said, you know, we're going to revamp this thing and we want you to be a part of it. So, you know, I enjoy it. You know, I have a couple of segments, Let's Talk About It, and then my thought of the week. And so, you know, I feel blessed that they even invited me in. So I just want to say thank you too for inviting me into this. I enjoy it, you know, and, you know, we're going to keep this thing going.
Thank you for accepting it.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for wanting to be a part of it. Because, I mean, it can be time consuming, but it's good because I always thought it was just us hanging out, just talking.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. What could be realer than that, right?
Yeah, of course. You know,
flowers for you and flowers for you and flowers for everybody.
Yeah, and you know, we're trying to get out there and be seen. We're trying to become video with this, and you know, y'all gonna see us around, and you know, those are the things that we look forward to in the upcoming seasons. But you know, for now, like I said, it's been great so far. You know, and I look forward to more episodes and you know, more revamping and growing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So my first Let's Talk About It segment is about a group of fifth graders. Fifth grade girls. They plotted to murder a fifth grade boy in the bathroom.
What?
And make it look like a suicide. What? Yeah, but this is how you know that they're fifth graders because
it didn't go well.
Well, they were not. There was no way that they were going to be able to prove this to be a suicide. We're not getting into the details. And so, there were 4 students at Legacy Traditional School. That's in a city called Surprise. How ironic! Surprise, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Surprise, Arizona. Because trust me, I was surprised when I read this. When I seen the title, I was like, surprise.
Yeah, I know, right? That was...
This can't be real, but yeah. So they were accused of planning to lure a fellow fifth grader to a bathroom. And it was a he. They wanted to stab him and forge a suicide note to make the killing appear self-induced. See, that's why...
As a fifth grader, what did he do
Yeah, that's probably what he's asking. What I do?
No, right.
Like, as a fifth grader, like, Like, what, he pull her hair too hard? You know what I mean?
He probably still doesn't know. He probably still doesn't know.
I don't know. I couldn't say. I mean, there's all kinds. Like, man, you know how kids can be mean and shit.
It was a plot, so it didn't get carried out.
Yeah.
It didn't get carried out. So he doesn't know, especially being in the 5th grade. I'm sure they kept that away from him. He probably,
Yeah.
they probably, you know, but like you said, you know what? I mean, this is the world we live in, and it's a lot to have to take in, and it's girls. It's all girls. It's
okay. Well, not to demonize women altogether. Like you're not all responsible for.
no, well, they're 5th grade girls, though. You know, I'm just saying. I mean, you know, they're 5th grade girls. I don't know how any other way to say that. They're
And when you say
5th
when
grade
you say 5th grade girls, like how many? Was it the whole class or
It
was
was
it
4.
It was 4. Okay.
It was 4, but that's what I'm saying. When I was in the 5th grade, the 5th grade girls weren't thinking about killing nobody. They weren't thinking
hell
about
no.
luring, and definitely not trying to talk to a boy and lure him into the bathroom.
No.
You
As
know, and
was the
so-
fashion at the time.
No, no, it was not. You know, 9 times out of 10, when I was in the 5th grade, because I had 4 sisters in the house.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had one sister that was older than me and 3 that were younger than me. And so the sister in the, you know, I might have a female classmate in the 5th grade that was, you know, cool with my sister.
Yeah.
Or the 5th grader was cool with my 6th grade sister. You know, so they were all about just,
Yeah,
and we all just was talking about what we gonna do after school. We gonna play kickball, you know, stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, I was more or less the guy friend to a lot of girls because like it was, you know, I got friend zoned a lot. So, like
Didn't we all?
until my friend zone actually became married.
Well, that's the thing though. But see,
but I was like I was the friend. Like I was
see
never like
your Venn diagram like overlapped eventually. You were kind of like,
but that's
I
the
found
thing.
myself here.
you can't even. Can you really call it a friend zone because you were in the 5th grade?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you
Well,
wasn't really.
but that was-
Everybody's in the friend zone.
You right, and you wanted to. You might have wanted a girlfriend, but that was just to say that you had a girlfriend. You might have been a little
Yeah.
kissy face. but,
Yeah,
you know,
and I mean, yeah,
wasn't
but
a
that's what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
that.
But that's
Different
but-
subject here.
yes,
Yeah.
all together.
Put a pin
But
in that.
yeah, that but I just like I said in the 5th grade, thinking as a 5th grader, but like you said, we came from different times to where we wasn't thinking about that. Like it was about kickball and all that. What we gonna do for recess and where we gonna sit for lunch and stuff
Damn.
like
Yeah.
that.
Y'all are innocent as
and
fuck.
especially if we grew up, if we rode the same bus and we grew up in the same neighborhood. Yeah, we talked to the girls, but it wasn't. You know, I mean, you always have those 1 or 2 that you know you had some hot girls in the group that had
Well,
certain guys. I mean, but
No.
overall, we wasn't trying to kill nobody
No.
or be killed.
Yeah.
You know, killed or be killed. But check this out. So
Check it
all
out.
4 of them got picked up, and they were arrested on charges of threatening and disorderly conduct. So
That's all they got.
far, I mean, yes,
Right.
so far. But you know, they're only 5th graders, and so you know, it's crazy, but it's
Where's
crazy.
Arizona
Yeah, surprise.
sounds to me like Arizona's playing a little fast and loose with their laws.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early, man.
As in, they don't seem to have enough of them.
I mean, did they? I mean, I wonder if they found a weapon. But I'm looking at this some more, and it says that 3 of the 4, and this is where it gets a little gray. Like you were saying, what did the boy do?
Yeah.
And I wanted to hold off on my comment till I'll throw this out there. So 3 of the 4 were remorseful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they apologized for
So
what
there
they
was
did.
one that orchestrated it all.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The 3 that they were just the followers.
They were lackeys.
Oh, they're trying to be on that show that Tamara be watching, that Mean Girl Murders.
Holy shit.
So guess what the 4th girl did?
Caved.
No, she laughed and made excuses for her actions.
Oh, that
Wow.
bitch.
She was the one that was gonna hold. She
that
talked.
fucking
She
bitch.
probably talked. Yeah, right. She. Hold up. We gotta remember.
I don't care. She's in
only
5th grade.
in the 5th grade.
Fuck her. I mean, fuck these kids, man.
We don't know her story.
Yeah, I know.
No. But that's funny. That's funny. But you know, that's the thing. So, because when I first got into the story, I'm thinking, somebody had to be the ringleader, you know,
Well,
and,
yeah,
and make
I don't
them
think
believe.
4 or 5 are gonna independently be like, you know what? I've
Well,
been plotting shit too. Oh, you too? Well, you know what? I got my own.
but they could all dislike him. They
Well,
could
that's-
all dislike him
that
to
prob-
where
oh, yeah,
one
that-
could say, well, what? Let's kill him. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's try it. But you know what? But some of them, that's that peer pressure.
Yeah.
That's that peer pressure. They don't really think they're going to go through with it. That's why I say there is no way in the world that you could have thought that you were going to stab this man and then leave a suicide note.
All right.
Boy.
So
Would you self-inflict a knife wound to your stomach or chest or whatever they was gonna do? No, nobody's stabbing themselves.
Nah.
Nothing like that. You might slit your throat. I mean your wrist. But I mean,
so yeah, go on.
but that's the thing. She
Sorry.
I'm
I
like,
want to hear what happened.
that's
to
the
this bitch.
ringleader.
Yeah,
Well,
I really do.
well, right now, the students were suspended. They're pending expulsion. Let's see, the students were suspended pending expulsion at the time of the arrest, and then released to their parents. So right now, they're just looking at getting kicked out of school.
Imagine being those kids' parents.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Motherfucker.
gosh.
What was you thinking?
Beat that ass.
You're like, you were just asking for Dunkaroos yesterday.
Man. Exactly. You would just oh my.
You just wanted to go-ger yesterday. What kind of shit is that?
Imagine being at work getting that call. Oh my gosh! And then so then or if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, the second thing after the initial shock is you start going through the photo albums like, oh my gosh, what happened? You seeing her in the 4th grade and you're trying to look for the signs of,
You got the tiny violin.
what you go into to the toys closet, looking through a wardrobe. She's satanic, is she dark? You start going through stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But so Legacy Traditional Schools said in a statement that student safety is at its top priority and the situation was addressed immediately.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that's all that they can give at this time because of their age. It says, due to federal student privacy laws, we cannot discuss individual student disciplinary matters. Any student who makes or shares a threat may face disciplinary action up to and including expulsion. So they're too young for jail time of any kind. I mean, but that's just
Of
for the
course.
threatening. That's for threatening what they were doing. Now, if you actually kill on the that's something.
Them
totally
kids is on
different.
probation till they
Yeah,
29.
Yeah, well, not even 29. Once you get of age. Oh, you say probation, but they might be. They might be.
Expert supervision.
They might go
something,
through counseling, a group home, something. Or
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure
send
this out.
them away to camp. Yeah. So that's my one let's talk about it topic. I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to get back into the second one. And the second one is a little interesting as well. I think you'll like it, America.
Or the second barrel, if you will.
Yeah. All right, America, we're back. Welcome back. We have another story. Now, this story actually took place, this incident, I'm going to say, took place last year. I was able to dig it out because there are things about FAA regulations, as far as flying and safety regulations that are still being looked into and fought for. And that's what this story is about. It says a mother thought her baby was blown out of a plane, and the FAA still allows for infants on the laps. And so that's one of the things they're talking about, why haven't they made it to where mothers or parents have to strap their children in, infants in, like a car seat or something like that. But I'm before we get into that, I'm gonna give some the backstory. So what happened was it was horrifying enough for everyone when a door plug popped off an Alaskan airline flight at more than 16,000 feet. This was last year. Said it caused an explosion, an explosive decompression. But one mother's nightmare was particularly acute as she thought she lost her baby out the gaping hole in the side of the plane. So that's the thing, and I guess nobody really knows. Nobody expects a gaping hole to pop up on a flight. but it can happen, as we can see. It can happen. It can happen. It can happen.
It kind of actually, like, I mean, I feel bad to say it, but I've kind of forgotten about how fucked up shit has been recently.
Yeah.
Like with all the, like the Boeing and the suicides.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
I
And all that shit, man. So, okay. So what actually happened to the baby?
Okay, so
right.
Yes. So what happened was,
fortunately, the child had not gone out the hole. Although the transcripts from the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, did not detail where the child was during the incident, so we don't know, but the child went somewhere.
so she lost it temporarily.
Yeah.
There was just like the lost time.
Yeah.
So
Or it says,
I told you we need that X-Files sound effect.
I know it.
right.
And it doesn't give the name of the mother involved either. The plane was able to land within minutes without any serious physical injuries. And there was 177 passengers on board. This could have really been bad, including three infants.
The idea, just in general, it's all bad. Like no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to know where this baby went. Cause she definitely.
I'm sure the mother does too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they found it in, if they're in 29, they probably found her in.
Of course.
Out 25 or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she landed in somebody else's lap, or I don't know. But they didn't name the mom. I don't know why.
See, from my understanding, there's always been a standard. Like if they're a certain age or a certain weight, you have to bring like a fucking car seat and put it in.
No, it's not mandatory.
That's fucked up.
It's not right. It's not mandatory, and so and that's what it says here. It says that among the NTSB's regulations, recommendations following the conclusion of its investigation. Also, it's been an ongoing investigation since last year. That's what it is. That's why it's been brought up.
Gotcha.
So it's saying that this week was to once again suggest that the FAA require passengers ages 2 and younger have their own seats to protect them. So it's not a regulation yet.
No.
It's not a regulation, and so
course.
that's the thing.
Because of course, if you have regulations, the damn commies win.
Right. Those damn commies. Yeah. But then and so I think that they worry about just the wrong thing. I think they just worry about dissatisfying the customer.
Inconveniencing.
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
But
that
again,
part.
that goes back to making money. The
Yes.
safety of the customer matters.
Not.
I'm
gonna say not.
Well, no, I'm saying should.
Right. Okay.
In one way, you could be like, "Fuck your money, I'm trying to keep you safe," but they'll be like, "What my money not good," and it's like, "No, bro, I'm trying to help you."
And right. And the thing about that is, what's so sad is, this was the ultimate extreme. A whole. Because I wouldn't expect it. I would expect the plane to crash the minute a hole, but it had to be a small hole, an explosion, all of that.
It doesn't have to be much though, right?
Right.
So I mean,
right. But that's the point. So if your baby is not strapped in, it doesn't have to be that extreme for them to say, yeah, we need to strap the baby in because they could fall through a gaping hole in the plane. They're like, that's unrealistic.
I don't know though, because like in reality, I'm like, if you have to strap a baby in to be in a fucking car, why would you not have to strap it in to be something like an airplane?
Right,
Yeah.
because anything can happen. What they call those the pockets, the air pockets.
Turbulence.
Turbulence. Yes, the turbulence. I mean, turbulence can, and we're talking about an infant. And let's just say that you're holding your baby and you're half asleep, you're nodding off. Or you just, if you're at a good airlines, you might be watching a movie.
Yeah.
And if you can leave a baby in a car in the summertime and forget that you put the baby in the
Holy
back seat,
shit.
then you can. No, I'm just saying. No.
What?
No. I'm just saying you can forget.
It's happened.
You can
It has
forget
happened.
that. You can forget that you're holding your baby. Period. And you relax, and so all it takes is turbulence, and there goes the baby down, onto the floor. So that's what I'm saying. Why do you keep laughing?
Sorry,
man?
dude.
Because
You're the one describing it here.
right? Because but that's the thing. That's the visual. That's the visual that you have to have to, and the argument that you have to have so they can pass this regulation. Because right now, what they're saying is what's the worst case scenario? And I'm sure it was not a gaping hole for a baby to fly through due to decompression. See how funny that sounds? And that's the point.
But it's messed up.
And it happened. And it happened.
Yeah, real talk.
And
That's
it
real shit.
happened. And so if that can happen, then it would be easy for me to forget my baby's in my arms and as I'm nodding off watching a movie, and boom, all in and out. They
And
go
I mean,
rolling down the
I
aisle.
could, yeah, because I could see that. Because especially if you get into that relaxed stage,
Long flight.
Yeah, especially you can drop anything. Like I hold my phone and just dropped it. But
as well as the fact, like once you get on that airplane, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, you've already kind of accepted the fact that if something does really go wrong, then you've picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now check out this statement right here. Because remember, the question is, what is the worst case scenario? And so here we go with risks to the infants.
Yeah.
Even if parts don't often fall off planes mid-flight, infants on planes are at risk of being thrown from their parents' arms by far more common turbulence. So it can happen.
Yeah.
That
It
seems
can
like a duh type thing.
which can occur without a warning. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so two, it says the National Transportation Service Board, a safety board investigator testified Tuesday about incidents in which infants were injured during severe turbulence. In one instance, landing a few rows behind the child's mother in an empty row. So this guy on the safety board investigator, he's talking about an incident that happened due to severe turbulence where the baby landed a few rows behind the mom. So once again, what are they doing? What are they doing? Why doesn't this matter?
CPS need to be called immediately, because if you can't remember your kids in your hand and have a good enough grip, then you ain't no good parent.
Nah, I can't say that.
I
We
can,
can't say that.
because
I
if
wouldn't go
you
that
have a
far.
child and you have had this child and you're used to having this child in your arms, and you have the child in your arms and you
Okay,
are dozing off on
I
the
will
plane,
say-
you're gonna know that child is falling out of your arms.
Yes.
No,
You
we're
gonna
talking
feel
about, We're
that.
talking about sudden turbulence that you
But
don't
that
know is
too,
coming.
you gonna feel when you jolt up. You gonna feel that child is not in your arms no more, and you gonna look immediately.
But no, we're talking about preventive. We're talking about the preventive part of it.
Preventative measures.
Seatbelt them
yeah.
motherfuckers to
Right,
their parents.
that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. No, they talking about.
Shit.
No, you can't do that either. The
I don't
seatbelts
care
are
if
not
you're
made
12,
for two
you're gonna
people.
wear this baby
They
pack.
just talking about bringing on a car seat, a car seat like they do for cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Would be the thing.
And it is just having a car seat.
Put 'em in
as
the
a
cargo
parent,
hose.
I can tell you, having
see,
a car
there he
seat is
goes.
massively inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
Like the booster seats
I'm
are dope
joking.
because like you can pop them in and out, but like
Yeah.
having like a fucking car seat, that thing is.
I'm saying like a
bitch.
Bjorn.
But think about, and we're talking about for an infant, right? For an
Yeah.
infant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
think about
it's a
this.
nightmare.
Think about.
I'm
because,
thinking like a
because you can
Bjorn,
set that in the
a
parent's
front
lap
bag.
now because the car seat can sit in the lap either this way or this way because the
If
seat in front of
you're
them.
expecting an adult to carry one of them car seats in their lap, you can, but it's going to be.
Where else is it going to be?
Rough.
Where
My
else
thing
gonna be?
is,
I would assume like because they come in two portions. It's like a portion that sits on the seat.
not the
and
sit
then-
up. Are we talking
If
about
you
an
have a
infant?
baby-
No, I know. That's what I'm
The
saying.
rocking.
There's a portion like a base that sits in the seat. You
Yeah.
put the seatbelt through it and you strap it in
okay,
to secure
yeah.
it, and then you sit the car seat portion and it clicks down into
Oh,
the base.
so the parent
So
would have to
the
be strapped
problem
in
is
with
there's
the.
no-
It would have to come
well,
across.
I would just basically kind of think that it would be almost the same arrangement
so
as
the
being in a
problem,
car.
no, because
You
the
would have it-
problem is
bec-
there's no back support for the child. There's no
Yeah.
head support for that other side of that car seat, because the seat in front of them reclines. It has to
Gotcha.
fit the person in
Gotcha.
front
Right.
of them. And if you put the baby in the exit row, the baby can't help in case of an emergency.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's why I was saying, like, if you have a baby on board, it needs to be on the parent. I'm not saying in a seatbelt, but like in the form like a Bjorn, where you have that baby on you,
a papoose.
and that baby
Yeah,
can't move
that type
from
shit.
you
right.
unless you literally take the baby out of it, and you can
Right.
only take the baby out if the seatbelt sign is
Well,
off.
I-
When that
That's- you know
seatbelt
what?
sign
I
comes
like
back
that.
on,
I
you
can't
put that
say
baby
one
back
way
in there.
or the other, but what I think we can all agree on is the fact that
This is
there-
coming from
th-
flight attendant experience.
There just needs to be more nuance to the
Yeah.
entire issue altogether.
Yeah.
To
Like it is required for you to have a baby carrier
Yeah.
as far as a bajorn or
Right.
something when you sit on a
Right.
plane with the newborn.
And think about
If
this.
it's old
We
enough
have
to
to-
have
we
a
have to
seat,
step-
it has to have a seat. It
we have
can't
to
be a
step
lap
closer to
child.
being right,
Right.
or getting it right.
And so and so now I'm just playing devil's advocate as far as why not? Why haven't they? What is the hold up?
This incident right here.
Time is money.
And more of these incidents
Well,
will cause
right.
us to follow.
Right.
Because I mean, it's
into-
like a 4-way stop. Nobody puts
But-
a stop. Nobody puts a stop sign or a stoplight
somebody
until
dies.
somebody
Something
gets
bad
into a
happens.
wreck.
This has
Yeah.
been going on, but this has been a question for years. This is not new, and so
I told you.
are they
I
going
told
by
you.
the numbers though?
It's
Are they
the
going by
damn-
the numbers? How many parents take infants on a flight per year? You know, I wonder if that's the question that they're
How long
asking.
did
Yeah.
it take them to take cigarettes off the plane? Years.
Years.
It took trial and error. It took them
Yeah,
to see that
again,
them planes
it-
are going
it comes-
down for them to
right.
realize
It
that.
comes
It took
down to
years.
Well,
the bottom line.
people's health, secondhand smoke, and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
You
So it's
know-
going to take a lot of these different incidents for them to realize, oh,
Yeah,
maybe
because,
we
I
need
mean-
to put something into effect.
Even with one or two, they consider it a freak accident that something abnormal happened here.
And then the FAA is being gutted inside out. So, I mean, who's to say that they even care about that situation right now?
Yeah.
Facts. The people care,
Yeah, the people care.
when it affects them.
But the government doesn't because they're gutting the FAA
Well,
for every good
current-
person they've got right
the
now.
current iteration of the government.
Whoever the lady is in charge with the toupee on her head.
Well, it's the FAA,
Shit.
the Federal Aviation.
You heard it right. The lady
yeah,
in charge
yeah, I
with
heard
the
it.
toupee on her head.
And the Transportation
She a big old
Safety
bitch.
Board. They're the ones that have
Don't mute me. Yeah.
the cases. But I mean, I'm looking at this. I mean, there's more to this to the gaping hole. Passengers'
hole, damn it.
clothing were ripped off, and their phones were blown out of their hands and sent hurtling into the night by the rush of air that accompanied the rapid decompression.
From the gaping hole.
Yeah, the flight
Yeah.
attendants weren't sure.
Why you
whether
keep
the-
bringing up his gaping hole?
I'm
Because
sorry.
I mean,
it's
that's
just-
the
that's what this episode's going to be called. The
The
gaping,
gaping
hole.
hole. Yeah, that's what happened. A gaping hole. A gaping hole.
You don't get the reference that
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
No,
do.
I mean we all get it.
We
Have
get
you
it.
all seen Alien
I'm just
Resurrection?
too old for that
Yeah.
dumb
You
shit.
remember that shit?
Ain't no Diddy over here type shit. I ain't got time for that.
We need to change the
Ain't
name.
no pause and all that. I know what's happening.
We're gonna turn it to
I
the
said it as
hole
soon
in
as
the
I read
sky. The hole
I had
in the
to, I had
sky.
to say with a straight face, the gaping hole. I get it, America. I get it.
No
All
more
right.
toddlers. We gonna call it no more toddlers on these motherfucking planes.
Nah, we gon' okay, no. You know what, America? I didn't name it that anyway. That's just a description.
It's
When the
floating
baby,
in
what
Cha-Cha's
caused the
mind.
baby?
Yeah.
We're gonna end this season on a good note, America. They're not gonna hurt me like that.
No, we not.
All up in my
This is
all up in my
love.
chizzy chest with this
This is
because of that
love.
game. Then
No, I'm just
That's deliberate.
I'm trying to look out for you.
but nah, I'm just thinking of how much of a bang he's going out on this last
But
episode.
he's saying, I know, you know, and Omega's over, yes, because of the gaping hole. You leave it alone.
No, but I'll leave it alone when you stop repeating that phrase.
I didn't say anything about a gaping hole.
Or did you?
You did. No, I didn't. I read it.
All right, well, we're going to have to run it back.
I can run it back. Okay, let me run it back, America. So it says, let's see,
Passengers' clothing was ripped off.
and their phones were blown out of their hands and sent hurtling into the night by the rush. See, they got it twice, by the rush of the air that accompanied the rapid decompression. The flight attendants weren't sure whether they had lost any of the passengers until the plane had landed.
Oh wow!
I never said gaping hole. I'm sorry. It was only mentioned one time. He said it, and that was at the very beginning.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so don't
That's intense.
even do
Like,
no Diddy. Don't
to think about-
even.
But to think about it, like all the issues that's been going on with planes as far as the crashings and stuff, and them not having the right navigations and running into the helicopter and stuff like that. Now you got to worry about holes being punctured into planes, and them not being secure and safety checked. So like, it's becoming a little more hectic with aviation right now. So
Yeah.
That's legit.
And the
kinda
money
makes you-
part, you spoke about the money part, but go ahead.
And it kind of makes you want to second guess whether you want to take a flight anywhere and just drive or boat.
Yeah, and that's because I'll go ahead about the money part.
No, I'm gonna
I mean-
I'm gonna bring up a point.
Oh, okay. I
in
thought
here.
he pointed at Omega
No,
there for a
he-
second, but
we were talking about the money earlier. you
oh
know, the-
yeah, I
the-
mean,
the
because I
money.
mean, it's like y'all said, the FA is getting gutted, and
Yeah, well, even before it was,
it's just it's how many more things, and plus not even that, but how many like tower people are sit there saying that
Control
the control tower is saying that these outdated systems.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well, but these are overlapping issues. I feel
Right.
like.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah.
And so there was a spokesperson for the FAA that actually spoke to CNN, and this is what they said. They said that their concern is that requiring parents to buy an extra seat for plane travel would lead more of them to drive to their destinations, which is about the money.
yeah.
It's about the money.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as when like people that are overweight to where they need 2 seats, but they get mad and be like, "What do you mean?" Like,
You gonna make me pay for 2 seats?
yeah, but it's like you need more than 1 seat.
And they said they
Yes.
think it's a greater risk because it's safer to fly on a plane than to drive. So they're trying
I mean-
but you can catch a Greyhound or something. You
Yeah.
can catch everybody's not going to drive from East Coast
Well,
to the
still-
Midwest to the West. So I mean, and they could have dug a little deeper than that,
And
if they
that-
wanted to, if they really wanted to have a reason to say, well, this is going to be an issue. That they could have dug a little deeper than that.
I don't know.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Or-
FAA,
or
do
maybe-
better.
And I feel like those numbers, as far as like it's safer to drive than it is to fly, I think those were outdated too, because not just the system of the FAA, but I feel like those strategics or whatever statistics
Yeah.
are outdated too, because like if you look here recently, we've seen more plane crashes going on
Well,
nowadays than it
I
was
think about,
back
like,
then.
I'm just curious.
Like I feel like it's less than
compared.
before, but at the same time, it's still a higher risk
Well,
than it
no,
was
it's-
before.
How many
that-
cars are
that
on the
is-
road compared to
Right.
how many planes
That's what
are
I was
in
going
the
to
air?
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
get that
safer.
too.
It's safer because the number of flights of planes that's going back and forth from city to city,
Yeah.
to state versus
Yeah.
somebody driving in the car. So that's going to inflate the numbers for
Okay.
safety.
But now you
anyway.
got to worry about if
Gotcha.
the FAA is going to get you there safely.
No, well, and then but the other thing is like he said, like the amount of people that's on the road versus in the air, to how many qualified people are in the air versus to
Yeah.
how many people are on their own devices on the road. You know what I mean? And that is another crazy point too.
Yeah.
I think
So
about like from
this.
I think
I'm
about
sorry.
from a funding perspective,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, of course, like excess can be bad, but at the same time, if you don't properly fund something, it's not going to function the way in which it should.
Yeah. And that's that. And I was thinking about that too. Like, what would they have to do to make it to where you'd be able to strap the child in? I mean, and then you have the thought of buying an extra seat. Now, because see, they didn't even mention that, because if you're gonna have them bring on a child, an
I feel
infant
like they
seat,
need to waive that shit.
right, but right.
Kids fly
right.
free.
But they're not going to. They're not. They're
I
looking
mean,
at the
not
loss. They're looking at the
necessarily-
loss.
Or-
not necessarily
or
kids fly
discount- or
free,
discount.
but when you have an infant, yeah,
You
that
gotta
fucking
discount
infant
it.
is free. How much
Yeah.
money do these fucking companies make?
Right.
But then you have
can't
to
fly-
realize that seat is going to be taken.
Yeah,
Or have kids
Well, you have
sections
to-
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
you have
But
to-
at the same
that
time,
seats
too,
are built for that type of thing.
Yeah.
No, so or you
you-
just
you-
have these certain flights where kids are allowed on the flights.
There's a lot, and that's what I'm saying. And those are the type
It's
of
a lot of
discussions-
different ways it could go.
Right.
It could
Yeah,
go
I
to
mean,
where they have free
yeah,
seats where
I-
your kids can only fly at these times.
Right. There's a lot of discussions that can be had that would make it feasible. But once again, like we said, it's the a lot of
We
it
have
is
the Disney
the
flight
pushback,
available.
the pushback, like you said,
course they
the
would.
funds, and like I said, and like we say, when they're like, well, I've got to.
Parents can't
That's a
fly
seat.
them.
That's a seat that normally I can get. Depending on how early the reservation is, $350 to $1,100 for this one seat.
Right.
Are they really willing to give that up?
Facts.
Oh yeah, I totally
And
get it.
that's the issue as
But
well.
at the
That
same
could
time,
be an
too,
issue.
It absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, flip that, like, brother. There you go. There's a specialized market if you want to do it. But at the same,
Yeah.
but I'm also like, you make enough money to where, like, yeah, you could call it a clawback, but it's like maybe.
And then that's when they start
maybe-
thinking, well, do
maybe
we
s-
have enough infants that fly on a regular basis to even make it a discount? See,
Yeah.
and there's
Vegas
so
just
many
gonna
unanswered
start creating an
questions.
airline that carries nothing but baby car seats and strollers.
I'm gonna
to
have to
the
start following
destination.
this though.
Yeah.
Again,
you
like
know,
depending on which way you
We've got our
slice it, I'm like
CRJ
that.
aircraft
That could be
hold
that could be an opportunity. but-
900 children on a flight to
But I don't
Charlotte,
feel
North
like
Carolina.
parents or
Pick them
people
up
who
and
have
manage it.
infants should be exploited for profit.
They're gonna be
But
like,
again,
Exactly.
like once again, like who am I to stand in the way of capitalism, right?
we've got American
is
Airlines
the-
with our
the-
CRJs that hold 800 baby strollers that will meet you at your destination, pick
So-
them up in baggage
Exactly.
claim,
So,
Yeah.
so we have a man.
You gotta start checking them in.
pick them up in baggage claim.
Exa-
Shit.
exactly.
So there's some safety experts. There's some safety. Sarah Nelson, president of the world's largest flight attendants union, the Association of Flight Attendants. This is what she said.
Wow.
Safety experts accused the FAA of putting airline profits over safety. This is Sarah Nelson, and not only
What?
that, she said the NTSB has one job, and that's to improve safety. They're not concerned about the financial impact, said Anthony Brickhouse, a crash investigator and U.S.-based aerospace safety consultant. The FAA looks at safety, but they also look at the financial impact. Safety and money have been in conflict since the beginning of time. And if you want to know the reasons for anything they do, follow the money. Exactly what we said. I mean,
Yeah.
Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder could see that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. But I digress from that. And any final thoughts on this about
I mean,
where it's
definitely,
going?
we definitely keep up with it and see where this actually
I will.
goes. Because this, I mean, it's just too wild on like what actually happened to what people are saying
I
happened.
never
Yeah,
thought it
but
was an
what-
issue. I
It-
never
it-
thought
I,
about it.
I didn't even think it was
Exactly.
either.
And that's what makes
No.
me think, like, what is really going to be the end result?
We need a whiteboard right here so we can put up topics that we
I've
need to
said
run it
that.
back on.
We can what they call it? Dang, I'm old.
Web diagram.
No, a brainstorm.
Yeah, brainstorm.
Oh,
He said, "Damn, I remember brainstorming."
Yeah, I remember back when I was in the third grade when that girl took my Walkmans and killed my batteries. But
But yeah, that's a
Oh, yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
some good
so,
topics,
yeah,
Cha-Cha.
I
Really
appreciate
good
that.
topics.
Appreciate
Yeah, man.
that. Yeah,
To
I
close
like
out
them.
the season.
Yeah, so I'm glad that y'all had a lot to bring to the topics, and hopefully I'm able to bring more in the upcoming season, maybe even better and even greater. Maybe I might add a little flair. Maybe I'll change it up, as we grow. So and we get more equipment, we're able to do things and add sound, add some more music behind it and everything. So that's my hope, to grow this as we grow together. with
Oh
the-
yeah,
with
we're
the-
definitely
value.
growing. So
Add the value.
So it's been a great season with you guys, and I look forward. We're gonna take a 2-week break, but we'll be back. And so once again, my man D-Lo,
yo, what's up?
my man Omega,
Yeah.
my man Javi,
Always in the building.
always in the building with you know who. Oh, Mr. Cha-Cha's in the building, aka Superman. He's always in the building, up and away, and we out.
Peace.
Later.
See ya.